Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. So if you're subscribed to this channel, you would know that we're tracking the Bitcoin price. We're also tracking the price of other altcoins. What will it do? Will it go up or will it go down? I don't have a crystal ball, but essentially what we're doing is we're looking at the facts, we're looking at the data, we're looking at the candles being printed on these charts, and we're trying to form the best and most educated opinion of what it's most likely to do. So that's basically what this is all about. This is not prediction sort of magic. This is essentially just looking at all of the data we have, using tools to analyze, using Wyckoff to analyze, using Elliott wave theory to analyze, using market structure to analyze, using volume profiles to analyze, so on and so forth. So if you're into that kind of stuff, subscribe, like this video, and let's get into it. All right, so we've been tracking Bitcoin, and as you'll see on this chart, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. Why? Because this smaller time frame shows quite vivid detail. Let's even go into the 5-minute chart. And a lot of people say, and I agree, you do not want to trade on these low time frame charts. You don't want to look at macro patterns on these charts. Kind of like if you're looking for deviations, right? Bearish or bullish deviations, or other things of that nature, you should look at the larger time frames. But what I really like about the lower time frames is the level of volume, the level of detail that you get in the market structure. So if you look at this, look at these sort of patterns. What do you see? I see inverted head and shoulders, which is an extremely bullish pattern. But you know what else I see? I see a bunch of them being formed and failed. Formed, failed. Formed, failed. The measured move on just this right here is from the neckline, let's say it was here, down to the point, should be, you take this, you put it at the site of breakout, let's say it was here, 44,000. What happened? Why haven't we gotten 44,000 yet, right? That should, right now we're forming a cup and handle, but this is basically something that we should have had, right? At this point, we should have had it at this point. We should have had it at this point. We should have probably had it at this point. No, probably not here, but here, here, here. What's that telling me? Failed structures are signs of a downtrend coming. That's, again, I'm trying to give you guys what I'm seeing. I'm trying to divorce myself. That's why I don't even talk about what trades I'm in or whatever. I think the best trading is done when you're not overly invested in one narrative or the other. You're not biased towards, I want it to go up and I want it to go down. Just what do you see? If you took somebody off the street, they had no skin in the game, but they had the skills to analyze, what would they say? That's who you want to trust. That's what you want to trust, right? And it's about not trusting a person, because a lot of times you know what trades you're in, you know where you want the price to go, you know how you want to accumulate, sort of sats or whatever you're accumulating, dollars or tethers, and you're trying to look for things that confirm your biases. So what I try to do is I'm trying to look as if, all right, if it goes up, I can gain or lose. If it goes down, I can gain or lose. And actually, to be honest, without disclosing what I'm into, both are true. So that's why I'm going to give you both, and I'm going to look at both. But market structure looks super bullish, except for the fact that I see a lot of failure. And this is on the 5-minute time frame. You can see it beautifully. Go to the 15-minute time frame. You also see it, right? A lot of failed attempts, right? We're in one right now. This is a cup and handle. Measured move again would be from about here to there, the neckline. we should be hitting 45K on this move. I don't see much volume. It's in the 15-minute chart. Relatively speaking, the volume is weak. Same with the 5-minute chart, but, I'm not going to do volume profile on the 5-minute chart. Although, let's go ahead and do it because we looked at it. Where's the volume on the 5-minute chart? We did get some volume, but relatively speaking for a breakout, it's not there. Okay, see, this is not a proper breakout volume. This is a failed breakout volume because look what immediately ensues, right? Maybe you could say that's a retest, but we've gotten a lot of those. Let's go to the higher time frames. 30-minute chart, same thing. You see that very bullish market structure, tons of, inverted head and shoulders, kind of W patterns galore, but there's no follow through. And the volume profiles, again, we should have had more volume. We have, if anything, decreasing volume, right? So the demand is low. Decreasing volume. Again, you see these inverted head and shoulders all over the place. Demand is low. Let's go into the 4-hourly chart. We see this one. This whole move is an inverted head and shoulders, but with decreasing volume on what's supposed to be a breakout, right? This is the neckline. This is supposed to be our breakout right here. Yet the volume is pretty much not there. So this is why I'm saying, although the market structure is bullish, I'm not getting the backup from the volume, which leads me back to my original plan or my original assumption or whatever you want to call it, deduction, that we are undergoing a correction. We're playing at the top of this range, which is great, but we have exhausted supply. We don't really have it. We might touch, we might go up to 42. We might hit 43, wick up to 43. But what I'm seeing is a correction. I thought it was a zigzag correction. Looks more at this point like it's going to be a flat correction, if anything. But this in Wyckovian terms or Wyckoff analysis terms looks like an up, or what is it? An ultimate thrust. What does he call it? Upthrust. He calls it an upthrust. An upthrust after distribution. Here's the distribution. Let's go back to the lower time frames. Can see it much more clearly. So the 30-minute time frame. Here's your distribution. Basically, your markdown in the top of the trading range, from the top of the trading range. And then this is the upthrust after this distribution. And usually you get a few of these, right? If you don't know about Wyckoff, learn about it. There's a great page. I'm not going to share it right here, but just Google the Wyckoff method, a tutorial from Chart School, school.stockcharts.com. Just read it. A lot of people just look at the patterns. They look at the charts that are shared on that site and they don't read the explanation. Read the explanation. It may take you all of 30 to 45 minutes, but you will use it. If you're serious about charting, use these methods, educate yourself, gain these skills, these tools. It may save you or make you a lot of money because you'll be able to add certain things in your analyses. Like I love using Elliott wave analysis, and you see I've got this ABC zigzag correction here. Maybe it's more of a flat. Maybe that zigzag is more extended. I don't know. Right? Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But in any case, the volume profile, the market structure, the failed market structure, and Wyckoff is saying, if you look at the Wyckoff distribution chart, and again, this is a local move. I'm not talking about the entire freaking sort of market on a macro structure. I'm very bullish macro structure. My case, I don't want to even go over why I'm bullish in the macro. Well, I believe we're going to six figures in this bull run, and most likely this year. But this is just for this move right here that started on the 25th of July, right? And right now it's the 28th of July. So 3 days, I'm getting Bitcoin at 64K vibes, right? And let's zoom out. What does that mean? What do you mean, Dean? What are you talking about? Bitcoin at 64K. I'm getting this kind of vibe where we have an upthrust, and then we have an upthrust after distribution, and then we have the markdown. I'm getting those vibes on the mini. So basically all of this is fractal, meaning you can apply it to small time frames, larger time frames. It's probably more reliable on the larger time frames, but I'm seeing the same patterns here. When I look at this mini move, it's a mini move, right? All things considered, it's only been 3 days, and I believe that we're already in the UTAD phase, upthrust after distribution. And my final reason why I believe that it may be a good time to take profits or be ready to take profits is that if you look at the stochastic RSI, so this is the stochastic RSI down here, it's all overbought, right? And so we're going to go into the different time frames. 15-minute overbought, 30-minute close to overbought. It's getting there. Hourly, not yet, but close. We were there though. We were there, we went down. We were there, we went down, but we didn't go back down all the way, right? Saying maybe there's some accumulation, maybe there's some, like I said, failure at breaking out, consolidation, if you will. Is it consolidation to move up or to move back down? Not sure. I believe if you want to look at this, you have a high and you have a slightly lower high. You have a high here. That's a lower high. That's a higher high on the chart. This is a higher high. This is a lower high. The stochastic RSI is showing bearish deviation, meaning it is showing that this is, although higher on the chart, it's losing steam. So that's bear div on the stochastic RSI. I know people don't really look at deviations on stochastic RSIs. I do sometimes. Here, again, you have this 4 hourly that's been kind of hanging out and looking like it's rolling over, right, at about 50. It looks like it can go higher, but it doesn't seem to have much of any sort of a momentum. And you look at the volume profile again, it's diminishing. It's diminishing, even comparatively to what came before it. Let's go on the daily, and we seem completely overbought. Now, the daily can stay overbought for some time, but again, what goes up must come down. And I do believe at the end of the day, we created a lot of imbalance and we are bound to fill it. There are CME gaps galore, down here. If you don't know what that is, just Google it real quick. I don't want to make the video too long, but basically there are gaps. There's imbalance in price action. I've explained this. If you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know that I always talk about that. You don't want to create too much buying action or selling action without balancing it, because price action is inherently balanced. And you can balance that during a bear market, right? But I don't believe, my thesis is we're going to balance that now so that we can move up more in a more healthy way, in a more sort of sustainable way soon after. So that's my original thesis, making this correction back to the point of the breakout And again, if you're subscribed to this channel, you'll know that I saw this very simply. My thesis was this. We had a breakout of a diagonal resistance, right? Basically a triangle. And the breakout occurred here on the 21st of July, which I called on the channel. One of the predictions that I made correctly. And we're going up. And usually after a breakout, what happens? You come back to retest the site of the breakout, and then you break out again. And this is what I believe is going on, not only in Bitcoin, but in a lot of other projects. The volume confirms that this is a retest, matriculating back down to the point of breakout because you have decreasing volume. Whereas on the chart, you have an increase going up. That increase is not backed by credible volume. And confluent to that, you have all that market structure that appears very bullish, but is not backed by volume. And you have a bunch of failed sort of moves. I think it's a great time to take profits, not financial advice. This video is a bit longer, but I think that if you're in this space, if you're exposed, you have quite a bit of exposure here, this is a good time to really weigh both options, do your own research, right? If you take profits here, you can buy back down here, at 20%, 25, 30% more of your coins, right? Or if 20%, 15%, if, we don't go all the way back down here. If indeed this is consolidation for a move to a higher trading range, this is just, Wyckoff accumulation phase E, then, what's the risk reward? You get out here, how high will we go before sort of coming back down and sort of, resetting the RSI, resetting the stochastic RSI? I don't know. You have to make that decision. It's your money. It's really, it's your trade. But I think you should be ready for both. And I think it's prudent. I think it's wise to always kind of play both scenarios out, weigh the pros and cons, and be ready to do either one. And I think that's good trading. That's good investing. I hope this was useful. If you like this kind of analysis, smash the like button, subscribe for more videos like this. This was a daily Bitcoin update. But again, this applies to other projects in the space, right? Yesterday, I looked at Polkadot. Same deal. I believe that Polkadot is experiencing that sort of UTAD or upthrust after distribution. You can't really see it on the daily. We had a distribution here. This is the upthrust. Elliott wave would say this is just the B wave. So you're going up against the trend, and the trend is down. And again, I'm not bearish. This is just a micro time frame. I believe that we just need to retest the site of breakouts. That's it. I believe that we're going to six figures this year. But again, we have good market structure here. We have a bunch of, look at this. This is a rising wedge, bullish. This is kind of a consolidation, sort of up and down, coiling up, probably for a nice move. Inverse head and shoulders galore, but failures. Inverse head and shoulders failed here. Big wick. Inverse head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, you get a bit of thrust, but no volume backing it. It comes back down. So it's kind of dangling, if you will, at the top of this trading range. I believe my sort of, if you weigh all of my analyses, I believe that the ultimate sort of move is going to be down again to retest and then shortly to go back up. So that's what I'm going with. I hope this was useful. Bye-bye.